small mammal with a gravel bike and ride Perth's Kalbarri Solo. Let's rewind it back to the start and see how it all panned out. So it is a nice morning. Just packing up the last of the stuff and we'll be on our way. Alright, packed up and ready to go. So get the bike out and lock the door. Alright, here we go, on our way. Alright, on our way. Let's go and find a coffee. I think a roadhouse should be open. It's Good Friday today, so most things will be closed. Actually, I might check my tyres when I get there. Alright, let's head there. Look forward to this. Alright, let's get on with it. Might as well make some miles. I've got not a lot to do. Well, it's a shorter day today, but there's a fair bit to see, I think. So we'll head out. There's a big flat called the Greenough Flat, so if I have a tailwind that should make it easy, even though it's dead still right now. So let's get on our way. There's the lobster that I photographed yesterday. So the road edge isn't very good here. Hopefully it gets better. Alright, better put the camera down and get out of town. I just stopped on the highway because the car's caught fire. It doesn't look like it's had an accident, it's just caught fire in the engine bay and burnt it out. Oh, not too far, we've got to keep on pedalling, so let's get on with it. And looking forward to the Greenough Flats. Hopefully it's got a nice edge on the road, because it's flat for, I don't know, it must be 40 k's or something. So the road's good here, it sort of comes and goes. The edge isn't as good here as it has been up to Dongara, but it's not too bad. So just still cruising along in the rural areas. Area's pretty good. Not too much trouble. Cars are good, trucks are courteous. So all good to this point. Okay, there's a farm shed there. There's actually an old church on the right here. I might go in and take a look. Just pull off and get out of everyone's way. Over there, I don't know if you can get into it, but also dropped my GoPro on the road going flat out and it bounced and didn't do any damage, so lucked in there. It just had it tucked into my back pocket. Might go up this road and just see if we can get into that church. Probably can't. Alright, let's go and have a look. I'll just put the camera right because I've got to cross the road. Well, looks like it's private property and the gate's shut, so I won't bother. There's plenty of more old ruins down there on Greenough Flats. Old bus over here. Well, let's keep on going. So we're coming over the top of the last hill to the Greenough Flats. And if you can see that up there, it is flat to the horizon. Well, I'm down in the Greenough Flats. I'm probably not going to film a lot along here, mainly because this verge is so narrow and there's a fair few cars and trucks, so I'll take it easy. Alright, I'll put it away, see you at the other side. Alright, that's the end of the first section of the Greenough Flats. That's called the S-Bend because it goes in an S down there and then back to the left, and this is the S-Bend Roadhouse. So we will come in here and just have a drink and 5 minutes off the bike and keep on going. This is a pretty well known, oh look at some ruins up the back there. This is a pretty well known roadhouse when you're doing this trip, especially back in the day when fuel tanks weren't as big as they are now. Alright, let's pull up. It's good fishing in there. Bring the ATV up. Right, we're just on this dirt track. Just going up to have a look at this cottage up here. Called 3 Bottle Cottage. Apparently there's 3 green bottles cemented in. We'll go and take a look at that, and then we'll go back out through the caravan park. And I'm going to take a side road instead of the highway if I can, just to be a bit safer. Right up on the hill, there's some 4-wheel drives going fishing, no doubt. And there's a highway up there that I came in. There's a caravan park where I got something to eat, and then we're going to continue down that road. We might even cross some old convict bridges and things like that along the way. So 3 Bottle Cottage. It's supposed to be 3 bottles cemented in here somewhere. All's a little dodgy. Roof's caved in. You can see all the wood shingles on that part of it. Oh, there you go. One there. One there. And one at this end. There's your 3 bottles. Got some great colour in that. Look at that. Like a red brick, or red dust has settled on it. Okay, we'll make our way back down to the bottom. We'll just trundle through the caravan park here, give you a look at that. Green area, plenty of trees. Some nice green areas here. Looks like the whole thing's pretty well grassed. This tent there's bucket up the grass. Alright, that's the caravan park. That's the little servo, and the main highway goes down there, but I'm going to take this road because it's a little safer. And I think it's got more interesting stuff on it, to be honest. For any cyclists coming up this way, definitely take this road from the S-band heading north as far as you can to a T-road, I think. Just no cars. And it's dead flat, and it's good. Definitely better than concentrating and keeping the exact line on the highway. So this is the Hampton Arms, and it must have been a hotel along here at Greenough. It looks like it was a bit fancy in its day. Rooms up the top, probably a bar down below. It says it's closed, so I guess I can't go in there, but some old sheds over there. A lot of this area is from convict days, which wasn't from first settlement, I don't believe. A bit after first settlement of WA. Oh, there's a plaque over there, I'll go read it. So yeah, 1864 this was built, and it was before the railway here. It was one of the major stops where people stopped and repaired their saddlery and things like that. So yeah, it's been around a while. Obviously got a newer tin roof on it, but pretty historic. And then when the railway came through, I guess they had less use for it. Just stopped to take a photo of this. There's these old ruins just everywhere through here. A lot of them in really good shape. Maybe just the way they built or the lack of rain. Maybe a bit of both. But there's these old buildings just everywhere. So we're done down here and we're going to turn right shortly. So then we should be back on the highway after we get sort of to the centre of the old Greenough town, and then we're back on the highway. So this is a crossroad that goes to gravel. Oh, look at that, it's a rifle range. Rifle range. Doesn't look like anyone's shooting today. There's some old, again, some really old churches here, or a church at least, and maybe, what's this, a hall? So that's a cracker, that one. Wonder why they made church roofs so steep. What does it say on that? I'll have to try and... something good. Let's see if I can make that out. I'll spin around. Something goods. Yeah. Maybe if I take a picture of it close up and then use Photoshop, I'll be able to work it out. And then there's a cracker of a church over there. That is a ripper, isn't it? Look at that. That is well made. And just across the road is that other building. Absolute cracker. Alright, we're back here. There's I think the bridge up here is built by convicts. I think that's old as well. I think there's a lot of stuff around here that is pretty old for Australian standards and West Australian standards. Been half demolished. Some machinery out the back. And this is the convict bridge. There's a car coming. So this was built with convict labour, they say. Looks like it's had some modern stuff put across the top of it. Hopefully it's got a good edge. Hopefully it's got a good edge. Geraldton is next. You can see the water, see the beach of Geraldton. So now we should be able to just roll into town. Roll into a roadhouse and get a drink. You can see the port up there. The big wheat silos. And on the left there's the big sand dunes. Surprised I haven't seen a speed camera being Easter. Saturday morning, leaving Geraldton on our way to Northampton. This is probably going to be the hilliest section, but it's not a long ride. Tomorrow's a much longer ride. This one isn't. We're just heading down this hill. So a little bit of a tailwind, so that should help. And it's pretty windy, so this section is going to be a section to really keep wits about you and stay off the road edge as much as we can. And then we'll get to Northampton. So we're going to take, I think it's Chapman Road, and it'll just stay off this highway, and we'll come out at what they call the 440 Roadhouse, and it should be a bit quieter. And then from there we're on the highway, so get busy again. Hopefully, being Saturday, it's not going to be super busy. So let's get on with it. See what's happening at the coast. Oh, that's pretty busy on a Saturday. Holiday Saturday for Easter. There's the Dome, well-known haunt for cyclists. There used to be a railway went right the way along the front of town here, and they shifted it and did all this streetscaping. So that's the foreshore of Geraldton on an Easter Saturday. Jaffle Shack, that's pretty busy. So not far from the 440, and this bike path turned up. So we might as well use it. Nice boat. We're at the 440 and I've just grabbed a nice coffee, and now I'll head out the highway and tackle the Northampton Hills. Fun. Alright, second last day hopefully. Alright, I'll just, yeah, it looks like there's a small edge. Let's get my wits about me and then we'll take off. So here they're doing some work on the road and they're giving me my own protected lane. I think this is for the Oakajee Port. Big development that's going on to the left. I think that's what all this is about. Big truck coming. Gives me a push. Better ways to get to Kalbarri. Alright, as you can see, all those hills up here, we've climbed to the top of the hill and we're on our way down. This, I think, is the first or the second of these hills. So there's 4 main hills. So hopefully this is the second, because there was one at the start, but I don't know if that was registering on the Garmin. I don't have the hill climb thing turned on because all it does is taunt you as you're going along, telling you how much work you got to do, so I just leave it off. Alright, keep going down this hill. This is the Elephant Hill Lookout. It's supposed to, these hills are supposed to look like an elephant resting in a resting position facing west with its long trunk extending beneath a pointy hill. Oh, let's see if we can see that. I think you need a pretty good imagination. Yeah, I think you need a pretty good imagination. I guess it's all this here, this first hill. But we're up pretty high, so this is one of the highest points, and the highway's just here. So that wasn't too bad climbing that. We're back on the road. That's the top of the hill, so we should have a little bit of a descent for a while. Less cars than yesterday, but quite a few more than I thought. I just climbed the last hill into Northampton. That's the CBH silos on the right, and then we should just roll in. 2k's Northampton. Okay, I've just pulled up, there's the silos, and I'm just going to get a picture next to this town entrance sign. I think this big red place is where I'm staying. Here, right on the left. Oh, yeah, brand new roof because the cyclone ripped it off before, a few years ago. Alright, I think this is it. Yep, I think this is the place. It's unreal, some of the stuff that's here. It's restored. Look at this place. Over there, there's some sort of church. Have a look at that. Look at the landscaping. Unbelievable all the way out here. I come from down that way. See how well done up all this old stuff is here. Because in most country towns it's all gone to rack and ruin. Here they've done an outstanding job. This is what I'm looking for. A cafe. Perfect. So as I said when I was coming down, a lot of AFL football players come from here, and I've got them all lined up here, all the notables. Just waiting for the old pub I'm staying at. The room's not ready apparently. It's going to be an hour or so, so thought I'd go for a look around. And this is the old railway station and siding. So that's the old station. You can see they've got some, there's a loco carriage, some carriages here. Another type of carriage there. That looks like it's bathrooms and things like that. And yeah, it's just like a little walk around museum. Interesting, on this sign, we're here at Northampton, and we're actually going to ride to the station at Ajana, that station there. So the highway is up here somewhere, and we're going to go off the highway and we'll actually be at that terminus. And then there's that mine, there's a mine there. I think that's the lead mine that's on the Murchison. That's a different gauge, 2 foot gauge. That's the end of the main gauge. So we'll actually go right past that place, and we'll see the old tank from the steam trains and the dam that filled the tank, and there's some track there and other things. So we'll actually ride through that tomorrow, all being well. This town's done an excellent job of keeping all this stuff alive. Probably better than any town that I've been to. Well, at least for a long time. For a very long time. They've put a lot of effort in. It's just amazing how much stuff back in the day was made out of wood. This whole thing's just wood. And then little loco on the front. Fuel engine behind there. Saw past my bike, and I thought it might have been a good chance to go over how I got it packed and what bags I've got on it. So we'll start at the back. We'll start with the bike. So first, the bike's Trek Checkpoint SL5, I think. I started with 40s, but I put 45 Pirelli gravel H's on, and 45s is a great choice. Nice smooth ride. Got 2 bottles here. One's a bit shorter than the other that fits under there, and I've got 2 bottles on the front on the forks, just in bottle holders. At the back I've got obviously you see a seat post bag, whatever they call that thing. That's got some clothes. I've brought up multiple sets of bibs and shirts, and what else is in there? That's about it. Got the radar on the back, just on there with the O-ring mount, and I just taped it so it doesn't pop off, and that just actually sits there perfectly. Some duct tape, you can always fix things with duct tape. And then I put a bag here, and this is actually to put the GoPro in, but I ended up actually putting it mostly in the jersey pocket, and a bag up here that's just full of bits and pieces and the gels and stuff that I grab when I'm riding. Frame bag, that's got all the bits and pieces that you use, like your chargers, your cords, your sunscreen, all that sort of thing is in there. And then on the front I've got a handlebar bag that has most of my clothes, one jumper just in case it was a bit cold, but it wasn't. The clothes that I wear on a night time, my normal clothes, is all in there. And also in there is some multidextrin powder and some glucose and gels and that sort of stuff for along the way. And then 1050 Garmin for the navigation and the data logging. Clear light on the front, flashing light. Thongs are on the front there. Flashing light there. I've got a flashing light on the back on my water bladder on the back, and then I've got one on the back of the helmet. So 3 flashing red lights on the back. Tools down here. There is some tools in here as well, but tools mainly down here. And I've got a lot of these straps, these grunt straps there. Brilliant actually, from Bunnings, very cheap. And I've got a lot on here. These are spares, so I just put my spares on, helps hold the bag, but also then if I need them I can just pull them off and use them to strap things on. I've got a tube. There's a bunch of stuff inside here, but I've also got an extra tube on there. I just strapped it there because that seemed like a good spot. Again, using 2 straps. One of them is a spare, but it just sits there nicely. That's basically the bike setup. I have a vest on with water, and that's about it. I don't put a lot on the body because just the extra weight is just not good to have extra weight all that time on your sit bone, so little amount of weight on the body as possible. And that's pretty well how I have it set up. Not too fancy. Yeah. Well, we'll keep moving, keep looking around. And I nearly forgot, there is one other thing. This mirror, that has been brilliant. I don't usually use a mirror. I've tried mirrors and never been that successful, but yeah, nah, get a mirror, costs I think $20 or something. Definitely worth it, even with the radar. Just being able to look back in a split second without looking over your shoulder, particularly looking over your shoulder on a really thin road edge, you can tend to wander off your line. The pros seem to be able to do it, but I know if I look over my shoulder it's pretty hard to stay within 6 inches. So that mirror has been probably a lifesaver, to be honest. So just at this little museum in Northampton, there's some Aboriginal artefacts and emus, and this place is unbelievable, the stuff they have here and have kept. I just did a tour with the lady that runs it. You just couldn't capture it all, the stuff that she knows. Saddle there. Alright, I just changed to a different frame rate to get a bit better low light. But there's just a huge amount of stuff here. And the lady that showed me around just knew all the linkages. This is all women's necklace from through the ages. A bunch of camera equipment in there from one of the locals that was a bit of a camera buff. Here is a place setting from how they used to do it. And this room is absolutely amazing. So this is all the pioneers, and the lady that showed me around, she's descendant from some of these people, and she knows all the linkages and who married who and whose daughters who. It was amazing, and they just got huge amounts of pictures. So interesting enough, a lot of these are the Cripses and all those names that you hear from football. Oh, and everyone who hates cyclists will love this. It's a number plate. NR55, Northampton 55, a number plate on a bike. Only state in Australia that's ever needed it. And Alice, Fordson, a dozer of a Hart Par. Let's have a look what's in this shed. Oh, bellows, saws, farm tools, rubber traps, things like that. Alright, that's the little museum I was just at. Hopefully now the hubby's got the room ready, and we'll head back up here and get into some normal gear. Okay, it's early in the morning and we're about to head off. Kalbarri today is the final destination and the end, so we'll head north and then we'll turn left down a gravel road and then Adjina and then Kalbarri. On our way, sun's coming up, just stopped and had something to eat, fueled up. We've got a easterly to a northeasterly at the moment, so it's going to be a little bit of a headwind, but we do turn left halfway, so that should put the wind on our tail, which will be good. Here's the pub I was at yesterday with the footballers out the front. and we just got to make our way out of town. The sun's just coming up over the horizon, so it should start to warm up a bit now. It's pretty windy, see by the trees, and that's the sun just lapping the hills over there. So I'll be looking forward to turning left. An oversized load coming, so I'll get off the road. Yep, something big on that one. And this one. The wind isn't too bad. Still get decent speeds, and what am I, about 15 k's in. Coming up to Greenough, stop at the roadhouse, and probably just grab a drink and a bite, and then not long after Greenough we head west on gravel. Right, there's the wheat bin. Still quite a bit of wheat in there. The roadhouse is up here on the right. I don't know if this is open or not. Looks closed, doesn't it? I'm going to have a look. There's not much traffic, so maybe it's just no one there. Oh, I've got enough supplies anyway, so. Closed. Oh, there you go. Lucky I didn't rely on that. I'll just go over here because there's one of these little libraries that you see around. And this is a school here. So that was a tiny library. What? Let me fell off. Back road. That's the Greenough Hall. Looks like tennis courts as well. Got some people at the back there. This back road came up a bit quicker than I was expecting, so this is it here, I think. And here we go, we're on the gravel. Might have thought the tyres down a little bit. Good gravel too, though, looks. Good gravel. So it must be about 5 or 10 k's maybe down here, I think. We've got to go. So this back road's pretty good actually, pretty good gravel. Here's an old tank, but I don't know, I don't think this is the steam train one. It's on the steam train line. Maybe it is. Actually, it might be. This is probably it. All right. Let's have a look. What's this? 1913 to 1957. 3 miles south of the railhead. The tin on there stops white ants coming up. Pretty sure that's what that's for. Oh yeah, you can see. Oh, is that charcoal or coal? No, that's coal. So that's coal from the steam trains. You wouldn't think it's like a rock, but that burns fiercely to keep the boilers going. So it's to fill up with coal and fill up with water and be on their way. And the rail line was just, where was it? Is it in front of here? You can see it. Oh, here it is. It's So there's the mount for the railway line. So the railway line comes through, right through here. You can see the mound there. If you keep on going down there a little bit, there's some culverts and bridges and things like that. So that's the tank. And the railway line, we'll just go down here on the left. There's a in-ground tank, a huge one. Jump this fence. Oh, looks like someone's put a hole in the fence for us. That's pretty handy. And last time I was here, a lot of this was still standing, but it looks like maybe the cyclone got it. It's all pretty well in the water. But it's still collecting water. They had a roof the whole way across it, all held up with wood. So we're up the top on the bank, and there's the dam. You can see all the tin again, all fell in, and here is a standpipe. Would have been used to drive trucks, only small ones by the height of that, back in the day. So just for perspective, there's a tank there, here's a road, and the dam's just here, so they're pretty close together if you ever wanted to visit. It's worth a drive past if you like that sort of history. Alright, let's get back pedalling. Alright, so straight up, a gravel hill to climb, a little one. We're not far, I don't think, from getting back on the bitumen. So this is Adjana, and there's a few houses in there we're going to have a look at. There's, oh, hang on, in the sand. There's a something up in there. Shed with some bits and pieces. Oh yeah, there's the original railhead. It's right here. Have an old house. This is the one I saw the vehicles. Yep. Another old house that has dilapidated. So that's Adjana. I don't know what that is. Wattle Grove. Must be a farm of some sort. Okay. Should have a tailwind. So on the left is the last farm. As you come around this corner, the last farm. That's the last paddock. And then I think we hit, soon anyway, we hit the National Park. So hooking along, good tailwind, doing about 35 average. So that should speed things up a bit. Pretty flat from here on in, I think. So that's looking out over the Murchison Gorges. It's actually not as dry as it normally is. Oh, we can just start to see the gorges down there now. So just down this gorge at Kalbarri. Moved the bike down, but it's a bit of water. It's been a bit of rain. Some other people here.
Mama.
And over this side as well. Fair bit of water. Now I've got to climb out of here. That's the only downside. Alright, let's get back up there. Back up to the top. Back the hill. Shouldn't be too bad. Climb plenty of hills on this trip. So we must be getting close. I can just see the dunes of the coast. So over the next hill we'll probably be able to see the ocean. So hopefully it's downhill from here. A few more hills back there than I expected. But should be downhill from here pretty well. So the airport's over there. That's a pretty fancy airport for Kalbarri because they were going to do fly in, fly out, and it sort of never really took off, and the airlines was never profitable, so they never really ended up utilising it. But it's got a really good airport. The Z Bend and the Skywalk is in there. I wouldn't mind getting to those, but probably not today. We'll see. Can you see it? I can just see it on the top of the horizon there. Just see it. So we're about 10 k's out of Kalbarri. So there's the river gorges. You can just see the ocean. One more hill until we properly see the ocean. Oh yeah, we've got to climb up again, down it. And there's the sign. Get a photo and keep on going. There you go. Last hill, just crested it. There's Kalbarri town in the river. You can see it clearly now. There's the horse where you can hire horses. I can't remember what it's called. Kalbarri Ranch, I think. And this is the town limits. Well, there you go, adventurers. An old mammal can ride from Perth to Kalbarri.